the things you put up with in a person because the sex is awesome. And we've all been there. We've all been there. And, I was talking to Tim about, there was this one guy that I was dating. This was like when I was in North Carolina in college, real cute. And he had like this really annoying laugh, like, and we've discussed this on the Study BIMCO program before, is that I had to dump him when one night over dinner, he said to me, you remind me of a very famous actor. And I asked who, and he said, Sarek, Spock's father from the original Star Trek, aka Mark Leonard. I remember one night we went out, and like it wasn't like this is going to sound like we were actually more serious than we were. It was just one of those things that his parents were in town. So we all went out to dinner one night. I can't remember if we were going to a movie or maybe there was a concert or maybe it was a basketball game. But anyway, he and his father are the dad's telling the dad jokes, and then Hunter is throwing back at him. They're both of them laughing.
Oh no!
It's Study BIMCO Part 2, The Revenge. The show where we create revenge sequels that nobody wanted. This time, it's personal.
It's Study BIMCO Part 2.
Study BIMCO. Woo.
Season 2, Study BIMCO Part 2.
Wait.
The show where we talk about revenge sequels that were never made. See, easy. No more teenage drama.
I thought the title was Study BIMCO 2,
The Revenge.
The Revenge.
Yes.
Yeah, I did too.
I
actually thought it was Study BIMCOV because I don't read Roman numerals.
Like Damien Omen 2. I'm very confused now. What show am I on?
Study BIMCO Part 2, The Revenge.
What does Study BIMCO mean again?
We revealed it last week when you weren't here, George.
No, did you?
Yes.
And by the way, I must say it was, looking back on it, it was very anticlimactic. We were like, yeah, she was our English teacher in high school, and it was like,
and her name's Betty.
I mean, it was just like, it was like, I was like, well, that was kind of.
Well, I was in the newspaper with her.
Not quite as anticlimactic or as a big a letdown as the series finale of Lost, but pretty darn close.
Was it as big as the anticlimactic letdown as when you all finally read my letter that I wrote 5 months before?
That was a good letter.
Because that
was a good letter.
I forgot what the letter was. I had no idea what it was until I heard it. I was like, oh, yeah, He-Man Land.
Well, that was our fault because we would get talking so much, and it'd be like an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes. We're like, we're not. Oh, poor George, we're not going to fit this letter in.
And Tim would lie to me every week. It's like, this is the week we play it because you needed those numbers. I listen anyway. I don't need to hear my letters. You're all jerks.
My suggestion was we should have just done an episode based on George's letter.
We kind of did, though.
We did
Masters of the Universe, and Tim.
McPhee Man.
Tim loved it.
At the, they say this, I don't know what it means. At the bottom of this hour, we're going to talk about the movie The Elevator from 1974. And then we're going to talk about the revenge sequels we came up. But first, we're going to pick a wild card question for people at home that don't know what that is. We draw a wild card question, which is basically the question is basically, in a sequel to this movie, which character is most likely to? And this week it is.
What is it?
Which character from this movie is most likely to win a Grammy?
No, we haven't done that yet. Oh, that's good because and by the way, Tim, thank you for changing all the questions 2 hours before we come to record. I really appreciate that. No, because the one thing I was going to use, I can use for this.
Okay. Did anything amazing happen to you?
But no, one thing I want to talk about is because you know what? Tim doesn't like to plug his stuff because he quote unquote doesn't want to sound like he's bragging.
Right.
Like when he was a guest artist for an issue of Doctor Who, and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I did a guest issue of Doctor Who. I'm like, oh, well, that might have been a nice piece of information. That maybe we could get more listeners. But I did see on the Macmillan website, and I don't know how long it's been on there, but New York Times bestselling author
Oh, wait, that's me.
George O'Connor. The Asgardians vote Volume 1, Odin. They have the cover art on the website.
I just got revealed. Well,
who drew that, George?
I subcontracted it out to I don't know who. John Byrne. Tim's gonna cut this out because he's letting me make comic jokes. But yeah, my new book series is out. Well, it's not out in the world yet. It won't be out in the world till November.
November 14th. Yeah.
Oh wait, that's the actual date.
Well, that's the date they give. Is that was going to be my next question? Is that the actual date? Is that set in stone? If it's a Tuesday, probably.
Oh, it is probably, yeah. At this point, it's set in stone. Like
it's set in stone.
I'll tell you, the way this works, everybody at home and listeners here, I'm like well on my way to working on book 2 of Asgardians, Thor.
Ooh.
Wait, I said that weird.
Yeah.
Thor.
Thorb.
I thought you said, yeah.
I can't talk. You know what? Here's what happened to me. Interesting. I literally just got back from Connecticut, like about 2 hours ago, from like a series of school visits.
Okay.
Visiting school, talking Greek gods and dinosaurs and stuff.
So John and I have to do all the talking.
No, I'm going to talk a lot. I'm going to say words incorrectly. I'll probably say at least one thing that's really inappropriate.
Well,
before on the show.
Yeah, I know. There's definitely never anything cancelable uttered on this show.
No. I had the thing I wanted to ask George is I don't know if he saw this news story about Legos that I sent to you.
I did read this news article, Tim, and frankly, was anyone else disappointed by the caliber of that reporting? I know it's NPR.
Well, it's meant to be lighthearted.
I heard it on NPR this week.
It just so for those who don't know, there was a study conducted by 6 scientists who conducted an experiment on themselves where they took a Lego minifigure head, swallowed it, and then charted how long it took for said Lego head to move through their system into their
bowels.
Bowels,
yeah. That's good. No, well, out of the bowels. They didn't wait. They're like,
it was part of the bowel movement.
Yep. The dookie, so to speak.
And George, I know how they searched through the dookie to find the head. They went to a small village in the Czech Republic where there's a toilet with a ledge. Did you hear this episode, John?
Call back to previous episode.
George visited the Czech Republic, and the toilets there have a ledge, so your poop stops on the ledge, and you can check it out to see if your poop is good. That's true. That's what John told me.
So think of
that's what George told me.
Oh, this is going to happen a lot.
I'm not doubting it, but it's just like, why? I get it. I wouldn't know what to look like. What, I eat corn today? I am not a trained dookiologist. How am I going to know, like, if it's good or bad? If
it's coming out by water all the time,
but do I need to keep it on the ledge to know that? I'll know that when I look in the bowl. You know what I mean? Or probably I don't even have to look in the bowl. I'll know it when it's coming out. Boy, this episode is devolving.
People are going to love this
very quickly.
We're not even talking about the movie yet.
George, which Lego head would you swallow? That's all I wanted to know.
Let's see. That's
which
a good
character?
Question.
And also, John, which Lego head character would you swallow?
I gotta say Charlie Brown, because it's a round head. There are no like sharp noses or like beaks or like horns. Don't pick anything with like horns. I'm thinking,
probably something like a Charlie Brown.
Well, I'm saying something along that line, something, but nothing with horns or like fangs or.
We get it.
I'm just saying, like a steg, like I don't know, like something with like a, like scales on their head. Nothing like that. That would just rip you to shreds.
How fast is John protesting too much?
I would do this.
Whose head?
I have had some custom printed Legos made because I'm just that sort of guy. And I have a custom Lego of myself.
How weird.
I'd swallow my own head.
You'd swallow your own head.
Yeah, it's just like, and maybe, I'm just saying, I don't know how this works.
Doesn't every man wish he could swallow his own head?
It's the dream.
Oh,
and then I can see myself from the inside.
Oh, my God.
I've seen George's apartment. He
years of yoga. I still can't get my legs behind my head enough to...
You get to remove that rib.
George's house is full of Legos, so I have a feeling he swallows at least one Lego a month just by accident. Well, just while
Pretty
sleeping,
much
falls in his mouth.
A sharp intake of breath, a Lego flies off the floor, goes down my throat. I live like a 6-year-old child, just puddles of Lego everywhere, and just I never clean up. I just kind of walk on them. I don't care. My feet are thick and calloused.
Well, I'm going to put you both to shame.
Uh-oh.
You know which Lego head I'd swallow? I'd be a hero. I'd swallow.
I'm so scared.
Lego Hitler. I'd swallow his head.
Man.
Wait. There's no Lego Charlie Brown, but there's a Lego Hitler.
Yeah.
You're both Lego liars. But, John, we need to make an intervention. Our friend, Mr. Tim Hamilton, has become a wee bit obsessed with the villain of the 20th century.
Der Fuhrer, yes, he has.
Come on, I'm making fun of him.
Are you're advocating that Lego, the biggest toy company in the world, makes a toy of him? Sounds like you're championing him to me.
Not to mention the Nazis did invade Denmark, where Legos are from. I don't think they're going to be making. I don't think they're going to be making a Hitler Lego. I'm just saying.
Hey, let's talk about the movie.
Let's talk.
All right, Tim, introduce us to the movie, please.
This movie is called The Elevator, not to be confused with The Elevator, which I guess is a sophomore movie, but we watched
I watched that one instead.
We watched The Elevator. You did not.
I watched the 1972 Candy Samples.
I kind of wish I would watch that one instead, but this is the one I watched, so let's get on with this.
It's a movie from 1974, An Elevator carrying...
Mine was from 72.
70? What?
The one I watched was from 1972.
Okay. Well, let me get
because it was the porn.
Let me get the...
I watched the porn.
Okay.
Derailed. All right, I'm sorry, Tim, go on. All right, 74.
It's an elevator carrying a diverse group of people stuck between floors in a high-rise office building. The tension inside the stalled elevators is exacerbated. What? It's exacerbated.
Exacerbated.
Sorry, I got tendinitis.
The ghost of English teacher Betty Simcoe is turning over in her grave because Tim Hamilton cannot pronounce exacerbated.
It's a hard one.
Wait, is she actually dead?
Yeah,
she is. So. She lived to a ripe old age. She only passed away like about 15, 16 years ago.
Tensions rise in the elevator because there's a robber. Stole money. You derailed me. And he's claustrophobic and he's got a gun.
Yeah.
And he sweats a lot.
Yeah, he does.
And his favorite line is, "And please hurry." Right?
Wait, that's your encapsulation?
The whole movie, he's like, and hurry up. And hurry. What? Okay, never mind. We'll get to it. That's what he said. Please hurry.
Oh, man, hurry!
I am on the edge of my seat.
Roddy McDowell is in this.
Yes, Monkey Man McDowell.
Myrna Loy from Classic Films.
Lernamoy. That's going to be our next podcast. That's going to be our next podcast, Lernamoy.
Oh. Right. Seti Bimco 2, The Revenge, The Lernamoying.
Lernamoy. Oh, my God. The jokes are writing themselves.
And George.
Yeah.
Carol Lindley from Beware the Blob was in this. She was the girl in the car waiting downstairs.
Wait.
She was at the teenage party. She wasn't the girl who ran around all night. She was the blonde girl who had the party.
Wow, the girl who was the one who was helping out the burglars?
The getaway car, yeah.
In this one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty exciting.
Is that my siren?
Your neighborhood. I don't know, man. And I live next door to a murderer, so I mean, I'm like, dude, your neighborhood.
So those are the two famous people.
Oh no, there's quite a few more.
No, I thought John would know Wendy. She's from.
Which one's Wendy?
Oh, Arlene. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing about Arlene Galanka.
Yes.
Who has been who's been in like everything. Well, here's the thing. Like, I don't know, like. It didn't have my YouTube didn't have the opening credits, and it just said, and Arlene Galanka as Wendy.
You missed the opening credits?
Yeah. Mine didn't have it either.
Oh, mine didn't have it. It was like a helicopter crash.
What?
Cops
No.
in the street.
So they spent it all. They spent all the money on the opening sequence. That was the exciting part. Oh, okay, I get it. Now she's one of those. No, but I wasn't talking about Arlene. I wasn't talking about National Treasure Arlene Galanka. I was talking about Barry Livingston, who played Robert, the boy.
Okay.
Who was
the one that kept
Ernie,
sticking up in the roof.
Who was Ernie on My Three Sons and played Courtney Cox's boyfriend in Masters of the Universe.
No.
What?
Not
what?
the same one.
Yeah. Barry Livingston was in.
Oh, you got the name wrong. He's from Star Trek. His name must be so similar. The guy on Masters of the Universe, he's on Star Trek.
I just got excited.
I know that.
And then you dashed. Now I'm quitting the show.
Okay, bye, George. It was
over.
Nice where you. Everybody, do not buy Asgardians Volume 1 Odin. Do not go near a bookstore on November 14th, 2023. Just
no, John,
protest. Wait, no, I thought Barry Livingston.
They have the same name.
Hold on here.
John.
Just hold on here.
They have the same name.
I gotta say, I don't think it works out time wise because this movie is 72 or 74.
Right,
and
but he was
that
a
one
child
was like
actor.
87.
He was born in 53 because he was a child actor when he was Ernie on My Three Sons.
Oh yeah.
And let's see here.
They got the same name. I know what's happening.
Oh, did I get mixed up there? I guess I did. Oh, let's see here.
Now I'm full of rage.
No, well, you know what, George? Get used to it. Life is full of disappointments. The Elevator, 1970. Oh, I guess it's not. Oh, okay. Well, I guess Barry Livingston must have dropped out of the Screen Actors Guild because that guy could take his name.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you know?
Wow, they really have the same name?
No, they are this. No, it is the same person. It's in his filmography. I'm looking at it right here. Look up Wikipedia. Barry Livingston, film, Masters of the Universe, 1987, television.
He did not play that character though.
Television, The Elevator, 1974. I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, but
pull up Barry Livingston.
Are you doing it, George?
Filmography.
I gotta say.
But
he's right. But he plays a character named Charlie.
Yeah, he doesn't play the boyfriend.
I thought he was the boyfriend. Oh, I thought Charlie was the boyfriend.
Charlie's the guy who runs the music store.
That's him. Oh my God!
Okay. All right. Okay, that was mine.
Wow.
Oh no, he's not in Masters of the Universe. You don't know what you're talking about, John.
Wait, I just want to say my faith in humanity is restored because I feel like this is a key Seti Bimco film now because it ties together.
It ties together.
It's Masters of the Universe and Beware the Blob. Mm-hmm. Good Lord, this is astounding.
And the Thin Man.
That's Myrna Loy. Or Lerna Loy, as you would say.
And Edith Reynolds.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I want to do really quickly because I'm having trouble with this myself.
What?
I don't know the actors' names. I don't know the characters' names, but I just want to break down as we head into. So basically, the plot of this is elevators, I guess, have just been invented, and tall buildings have just been invented, and people are freaked out by this elevator. This is a new building where they're selling space in this building, and a bunch of randos get stuck in an elevator together. Like you said, during Criminal, let's establish like a Cliff Note version of who all the characters were.
There's Roddy McDowell, who is the renting agent for the building.
Who is Marvin? This happens to me every week, George. Do not panic, because I would not remember it. I have to write all the characters, all the actors down with their characters' name.
I cut and paste.
You got to do it every week because, especially with these all-star. And what is this diversified? They're all white people from the valley. I mean, there was not one person of color. What is this? This diverse.
At the very end, there was a black cop for like 20 seconds.
Oh, okay. Then I stand
so that's pretty diverse for the 74.
I stand corrected.
Myrna Loy is coming to this building. She's she's the main character we follow because she comes into the building after the opening credits. You missed the opening credits.
Best character too. She's the best character.
She had just murdered her whole family in the opening credits that you missed. And she comes to the building. Oh, you'll hear. She pretends.
No, her shtick though is she just talks about her family constantly and her time, especially in Pittsburgh, but also Paris.
Now you know why.
And she's
Philadelphia.
Rich old movie star. Oh, you're right, Philadelphia. Rich old movie star type, and great screen presence. You can see like, this lady was a movie star.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the doctor, the super patrician doctor, who's having an affair.
I think.
And he's in there with his wife and his girlfriend, who's his secretary. And
Right.
that we'll get to that later.
Really?
And he's like
Right.
the boss, I guess, because he's the white guy.
Right. Well,
They're all
he's
white guys.
is he a doctor?
He's the white guy.
Yeah.
He's definitely a doctor
He's
of
a
some
doctor.
variety. I don't know
His
what
wa-
her trade is.
Yeah.
His
wish
wife,
he-
no, his wife is played by Teresa Wright, who won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for Mrs. Miniver in 1942. Also that year, she got nominated for Best Actress for Pride of the Yankees with Mr. Gary Cooper as Lou Gehrig. You remember? Today, I am the luckiest man alive. Fun fact. I mean, Lou Gehrig died of Lou Gehrig's disease. What are the chances of that?
Oh, come on.
Yeah. I think you stole
I'd
that
say
joke.
100%. All right, who else do we got? No Lou Gehrig in this movie.
Roddy
Oh,
McDowell.
there's the boy. Well, you already said Roddy McDowell. There's the boy
I want to
who
talk
was in
about
My
it.
Three Sons,
Barry Livingston.
Barry Livingston, who is also in Masters Universe, and his mom, who was just a hysterical mess.
Right.
And then I guess the principal characters, the one stuck in the elevator. Last one is a very sweaty, very sweaty bank robber who
Yes.
no, not bank robber,
didn't-
just robber.
He just, yeah. I don't
I enjoyed him immensely. That guy was great.
Mr.
And-
James Ferrantino, who's done everything.
Mr. James Ferrantino.
and we had the kid.
And I said the kid that gets shoved through the roof.
Okay, you finish.
Right.
Yeah.
Who,
I have
by the
something.
way, remind me of that guy in college who, like, you'd get a few drinks in him and you'd be able to, like, you know, make out with him and get him naked, but the whole time be like, no, I have a girlfriend. Anyway, just a little something from.
Nice. I hope that kid didn't laugh weird too. Call back to
I don't
earlier
know.
in the
Sometimes,
episode,
sometimes they come back for more. Sometimes, like, they never made eye contact with you again. It just depended on the guy.
I have a question. If you got this guy drunk enough and you made out with him, could you then pick him up and stash him in a hole in the ceiling for later?
Several times. That's how the evening ended. I would hit
Yeah.
the emergency
You're
stop
bugging me.
on the elevator. We do what we did, and then, I would climb out the top of the elevator and shimmy up the shaft and go, okay, I gotta go.
That's a good way to make an
That's-
ending.
Yeah, it's a great way to end a date.
Let's see what other main characters, because there's the other character from Beware the Blob who sticks under the. She's
Stays in the
I think her name is
parking garage.
Honey. She's a blonde lady who runs like an idiot, and she is driving the getaway car. And there's this big blonde dude who I guess is the true villain of the piece.
Yes, Don Stroud, who did a
Don
bunch
Stroud.
of
He
things.
never gets in the elevator. And then the only other person who plays a pivotal role, but is never really like, there's an idiot who brings a 750-pound component into the elevator and
It's a safe.
basically
It's a safe.
it's a safe. That's it. Fucks up the elevator, gets off, and starts everything. Because yes, this is a disaster movie.
So-
where a bunch of people who don't trust elevators because I guess they're new, get stuck in an elevator.
I do want to point out they tried to do what the airplane movies do and give each person some drama, but there was no drama to like
There was
anything
no
going on with
time.
them. The kid was
Yeah,
like,
they left a lot on the table.
Angry
Like there
is-
was drama set up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like, can we talk spoilers real quick?
Sure.
All right.
Well, let's-
so the
yeah.
kid, because we keep talking about the kid you stick in the ceiling. We see all the stuff with the kid and his mom, and there's this angst about money that never comes up
that's
again.
yeah.
The trust fund.
And then the trust fund thing, and the most shocking one to me that I kind of couldn't remember, the doctor who kind of becomes a hero in this thing. We see
Mm-hmm.
that he's having an affair with his secretary and his wife, and the three of
Nothing
them together
happens.
get stuck in this elevator, and it never comes to a
Never
head.
comes up. The wife kind of gives her a dirty look, but beyond
That's the
that, no, you're-
closest.
well, because they've got, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people, 9 characters in an elevator in a movie that ran an hour and 9 minutes.
So
And
they all got in the elevator.
Did you catch?
Let's get there.
Apparently, the version we saw, I was reading the comments on the YouTube thing.
Uh-huh.
It was missing 10 minutes.
Oh my god!
Those are the
Something-
10 minutes we needed.
It was the part
Well-
at the credits you missed when Myrna Loy was murdering her family.
No, you're a liar. There's definitely some unresolved bits, and I think it was kind of excised from the middle.
Well,
I think there were We'll get to it maybe.
They
Or maybe
all-
we won't, folks. Who knows?
They all get on the elevator with
Yeah.
the safe, as you said.
With the safe,
They get-
700 pounds.
They get the safe off, but they somehow bust the whole elevator, pushing the safe.
Because the guy gets it off like an idiot, and they're like practically jumping up and down,
Yes.
like they're hitting it with hammers practically.
So then they go on their way with the man with the money. He had killed someone on the top floor and took the money. And then they
Did you
get
catch that guy's name?
Yeah, his name's Eddie. He's my favorite.
No, the guy they killed,
Rambo.
Mr. Rambo.
Mr. Rambo. Yes, right.
Oh.
It was spelled differently, people. With a,
Not according to
With
the
the
thing
E.
I saw.
just like
was it?
Seti
Mr.
Bim-
Ramby?
Like Seti Bimco.
Mr. Rambo? No, you're a liar.
BAU, Rambo.
Yeah, I saw it on the wall. So now they're all stuck. Yes.
Yep.
And so are we.
And
So are we. This movie was very boring.
I kind of liked it.
Oh my God.
Well, the big drama comes
to-
because Roddy McDowell had a Taco Bell lunch.
And he's the one farting up a storm in the elevator? Is that what you're going to say?
It was a crisis. He was like,
It was a
he's like,
crisis.
does anyone have a bucket and a small cloth with which to maintain my modesty? No one did. So you just were waiting. You're like, can't wait to see this monkey man shit himself.
Oh my God.
I figured Eddie was the one farting.
Which one's Eddie?
Eddie's the robber who is also claustrophobic. As
Oh.
soon as the elevator stops,
Oh my God.
he breaks into a cold sweat. He shits his pants.
He's so wet. Oh my God. He was great. John Ferrantino's actor's name.
Yes.
I'm going to watch other movies of this guy because that guy, he looked like he was like a character from Welcome Back, Kotter. That's right. It's me making an old timey TV reference. But he looked like one of the Sweat Hogs. I don't know if he was.
I think I read.
No.
I could have seen it be one.
I think I
No,
read
he
his.
wasn't.
He wasn't everything though. I mean, like he was a pretty big actor at one point.
I think.
I think a lot of these people
I don't
were.
know if it was at this point, but at one point he was a really big actor.
I think I read his Wikipedia. I think he got in trouble for stalking his girlfriend. Sad to say.
Oh,
I don't know.
our heroes,
I should.
our heroes are dead.
Your heroes are dead. Well, yeah,
By the way,
let me
did anybody?
shoot him down now?
I think the guy from Masters of the Universe is maybe the only person involved in this movie who's still alive.
Possibly.
Yeah, I was looking. It was depressing. I stopped looking.
Arlene Galanka may still be alive.
Yeah.
National
I don't know
treasure.
which-
National the mistress of the doctor, the secretary or nurse or
Oh.
whatever she was. Yes, national. And I'm going to refer to her for the rest of the show as National Treasure because you know how I like labels. National
Yeah.
Treasure Arlene Galanka, I believe, may still be alive. I could be
I
wrong.
think she literally disappeared from the movie. I don't think there was any resolution for her character.
Oh, but maybe
we'll get there.
maybe she showed up in a revenge movie. I'm just saying. I'm not making any promises here.
Maybe she won an Emmy.
All right. Maybe she's still in the elevator.
Or Irene was waiting in the basement with no 8-track player in that car.
No check
Anyway.
player at all.
Anyway,
One robber, I forget his name. There's Eddie and who? Eddie and
Oh,
Pete. Pete, right?
Pete. Wow, that's impressive. You remembered that.
He got separated, so he's down in the basement with the girl. Like, we got to get up there. Where is he? What happened? They don't know he's stuck.
The
in
girl is
elevator.
Eddie's girlfriend too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
worth mentioning.
Yes. So yeah, it's very boring. Oh, so I got bored. I needed to wake myself up, and I looked up on YouTube the top 5 worst places to live in Pennsylvania.
Okay, let's hear him.
No judgment by
Sarah-
me. The worst
Sarah
place,
Athens, South Waverly.
Reading,
Lancaster.
Reading, PA,
Reading. Yeah,
where
I agree.
I think they make peppermint patties there, or Wilkes-Barre. I forget where, but number 2 is a place you can't move to, Centralia, because
Oh, that's the place that's on fire.
it's been on fire for 60 years and will continue to burn for 200. Do you know about this
That's pretty
place,
rough.
John?
That's only number
What is it on
2.
a coal? Is it on a coal mine? Is that why?
Oh, because
Yeah.
in the 60s, people dumped the garbage in a hole in the ground, and the fire department set it on fire, and they basically set all the coal under the town on fire. So everybody
But
had
it
to
is
go.
but it is the barbecue capital of
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
5 people live there that wouldn't move or sell their houses.
Good Lord, those people must have such lumps.
Yeah. Now let's get back to this movie.
That's it? You're only giving 2 of the 5? outraged.
Hazelton, Wilkes-Barre. Harrisburg, the capital, and I forget the other one.
This is
I
good
had a
story.
great uncle
Tim.
who lived in Harrisburg. It was actually quite nice. Oh, before
Nobody
we go
in this
on,
movie. There's nothing about Pennsylvania.
before we go on, I do have some sad news to report. National treasure Arlene Galanka did pass away in May of 2021. I'm sorry.
Close.
I'm
She
sorry.
almost made it to SETI times.
Yeah. So Edith is the name of a character. She was losing her mind and worried about her samples. I don't know what that was about.
I don't either.
No,
Who's
because
Edith?
she was decorating her husband's office.
That's right. She was very worried. Okay.
So
now it's
those are
making
her
sense, John.
Those are her samples.
Come on, there's some plot here. Yeah.
Well, see,
Decorating.
I'm more than just a pretty face.
I just have this movie was so boring.
Yes, everyone. I'm more than just a golden throated voice on a podcast. I am also male model gorgeous.
Should we just cut to the chase with this movie?
Well, Myrna Loy, she won't shut up about Philadelphia.
George, we do not cut to the chase on this movie as badly as you want to. No, we are going to have to go over frame by frame of the elevator. The sooner you reconcile with that, the happier you will be.
I just want to know what holiday it is because everybody is worried it's a holiday, so that's why the building is empty. Did they ever say what
I'll
holiday?
tell you what it's not.
A 3-day holiday.
It's not Martin Luther King Jr. Day because that holiday didn't exist yet.
No,
It didn't.
Yep.
and it's not Christmas because
There would be decorations.
maybe it would be decorations.
Yeah.
It's not.
What if this is a
I'm going to
stealth Die
guess
Hard
either
prequel?
I'm going to guess Memorial Day or Labor Day. Those are going to be my two guesses.
I'm going to guess Kwanzaa.
Well, God, that was my third guess.
Yeah. And because the movie was so white, it never really came up. Nobody
No, it was
really
a very diversified group of people from the San Fernando Valley trapped in this elevator.
So that woman attacks Eddie when he has a gun. There's some that made no sense. Remember, Eddie?
Arlene Galanka fucking decks him.
Yes.
She's got
Eddie.
she's like a pro wrestler. She just knocks him to the ground. He's like, blah! His gun looked weird too. I'm just gonna say it looked like a.
I think he
That's
built
why
it himself.
That's why Arlene Galanka is a national treasure.
You know, in the opening credits you missed, it showed Eddie building his own gun. That's why it looked odd. That's
Tim's
probably
just
the plot.
lying again, everybody.
Come on. So he's got a gun. He's losing his mind. He climbs up through the top. Does he climb up first or the kid first? Doesn't matter.
Well, they first send the kid up, and as the kid's going, because the kid's job in this movie is to be generally kind of small, and he's not that much of a kid. He's like 20, but he's little, and everybody keeps picking him up and shoving him in holes.
Yes.
And he's midway through the hole, and the sweaty bank robber with claustrophobia. I don't know why I call him a bank robber. The sweaty robber.
Eddie.
He's like, no, I'm gonna go, and he goes up and he climbs into the shaft and starts firing the gun up into the air inside the shaft and yelling,
Yes.
Yeah.
"Let me out!"
He started shooting at elevator doors.
He did. Wait, he did, right?
Well, he shot at
Yeah.
Oh,
something.
and the whole time he has a big old briefcase full of cut paper, which were supposed to be his money.
right.
And he's trying to wedge open the door with it. And when Arlene Galanka smacks him, she hits him with such force. Not only is he decked, his suitcase flies open and the
Yes.
money goes everywhere.
Right. So now
And
they
that's
all
how everybody
know.
knows. They're like, oh. And that becomes a point of
yeah.
contention
Everybody goes,
Yeah.
because the only person who knows they're in the elevator is his partner, Paul Stroud, and the blonde lady from Beware the Blob.
Yeah.
Whatever the Blob movie was called that I saw. And now they know because they've seen the money.
Yeah.
They're all going to die because they can't
Or-
afford
Right.
to have witnesses.
Can't afford to have witnesses. If he had
And
just
that's the
worn
moment-
if he had just worn a ski mask in that elevator the whole time, nobody
Yes.
would have noticed.
Yeah, everybody thought that was totally weird. I mean, normal.
He should have just kept that pantyhose on his face. Nobody would have thought twice about it. It was
He
a 3-day
never put
week.
it on.
It was a 3-day weekend. Everybody had their minds on that. Everybody had their minds on like a Memorial Day or Labor Day barbecue.
Whatever
They're heading to that town in Pennsylvania. The Centralia, is that the name of it? They're like, for my
They're not going
3-day
there.
weekend, I'm going to Centralia, Pennsylvania, the barbecue capital of the world, you know.
It's mesquite flavored.
That's right.
So while they're all sitting there thinking they're going to die, Myrna Loy, whose main character trait has been comparing people, talking about her kids and her
And everything's like Philadelphia.
But when they finally found us in Philadelphia, it took them nearly an hour to get us out.
children-in-law and her grandchildren and all stuff like this. She just has this moment, and like this is where you see Myrna Loy, why she's a true like great actor.
Yeah.
She admits, she's like, look, I don't have any kids.
I murdered them.
I didn't murder them in the opening credits, but Tim's going to allege I did. Tim, that's where his heart resides. I don't have any family at all. I'm a big old loser who makes up stories about my family in order to impress random strangers. And they all kind of like look at her sad, and it's this moment of bonding. And then Monkey Man McDowell, he's like, my job sucks, and I can't wait for the apes to take over.
That's right.
Because
And also,
They will
yeah,
not
maybe
have elevators.
Yep.
also
And these are the only two characters we give a shit about. So all the other plots that were set up, like the inheritance,
Eddie.
the
Eddie.
affair, none of that.
Eddie had his confession. He said,
What was his
I'm the
confession?
one who's been farting all this time in the elevator.
I
I know you suspected it.
I'm going to agree with George. I mean, my ending of the movie would have been Myrna Loy and Roddy McDowell escaping. And as far as I'm concerned, the rest could have plunged to their deaths. I wouldn't have cared.
Yep. Jump
That
out
would-
through the hole in the roof as the elevator falls down into a vat of acid.
That would have
And then explodes.
that would have been awesome.
That would have
awesome.
been.
That would have been a great movie.
So then what happens? Meanwhile, the robber guy's partner is outside, and he's like, "We gotta get that money!" And they rescue the guy who's in the shaft, Sweaty Joe, and Sweaty Joe
Eddie.
and his girlfriend and Pete the barber,
Eddie
robber, Eddie,
Who keeps saying,
Eddie.
and please hurry. He's like,
and please
"Go Get
hurry.
me out of here. And hurry. And please hurry."
Hurry up! Can you hurry up?
At
what he
this
said.
point, though, this is interesting because this is when Eddie becomes a good guy. Because he and his girlfriend, Eddie's being there like, "Oh, I was in an elevator. It's scary. That one kid kept beef and cheesers." And then Pete, who is the true bad guy, gets a fucking acetylene torch and starts cutting the wire.
Yes.
And they're all watching, and it goes on for, I mean, this movie's only an hour and 15 minutes or whatever. I'd say a full 5 minutes of it are them watching as he's slowly burning this wire.
I know. Doing
And in the
nothing.
elevator, they're all like, well, we're going to die. And like Eddie's watching, he's like, I guess I could do something, but I am rather sweaty. And he finally does something. He attacks Pete. Pete punches him in the belly, and it is the best reaction.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes a face
he-
like, whoa, it's...
Yeah.
I love it.
He fell through a glass window and his shoes fell off and he had to walk across the broken glass in a tall
Yeah,
building.
that's right.
I must
it was
have
Christmas.
had a super edited.
And then Hans Gruber falls out. It was great.
I must have had a super
Yes.
edited version of this movie.
And then he falls back in the elevator, and I don't know. I mean,
Well, they get off. They do get off, and
They get off.
then it falls into the pit of acid.
then it falls. Oh, everybody gets off. Nobody dies. Even the bad bank robber who tries to escape after getting the money. He runs downstairs and gets shot by the cop who happens to be black.
But
The one character.
That was
yeah.
the diversity.
did you?
And
but,
yeah,
but
well,
his partner
Dead,
Eddie, who got away with the girl. The last time we see him, they just run down the stairs. They can't get through the door. It says, "Please use elevator." He's like,
Please
"Damn
use
it!"
elevator.
And he hits the wall, and that's it.
That's the end.
Poetic justice.
This is my theory. This is why, as mentioned in the comments, 10 minutes of this film are missing. There's no way that, because all they had to do was run up a flight again,
I know.
right? Like that's like a minor annoyance, not the comeuppance of one of the
And
characters.
get
They're just like, oh,
and then
damn.
get shot by the police.
Yeah, those police fucking left.
I think
They shoot the one guy.
I
They're
know.
like, well, we got a suspect.
That's
Let's
it.
not even check the goddamn elevator. It's full of 8 people.
Well, you know, I was going to make that comment too. Like there are like maybe 8 cops there that show up tops, and they're like, "You guard the elevator, and the rest of you cover all the floors." There's like 6 of them, and it's like, isn't this like building like 50 feet tall? Those poor cops. I mean, what did they do? They each got like what? 5, 6, 7 floors apiece. They're all still
Really?
running around upstairs. They don't know what they're doing.
Notice that that was funny. It's like you two check the garage, the rest of you check every floor.
Check
it's like,
every floor.
You guys in the garage. They really fucking lucked out. They're like hanging out by the soda machine. They're pounding Pepsis because it was the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then well, this is the one bit that was nice, I thought.
Okay.
So everybody's gone through this incredibly harrowing experience. They've all lived, and they all had this moment where like they all shared in the humiliation of Myrna Loy.
Yes.
And I guess there was probably scenes where they all had their own things they came forward to too, but we didn't really see it. And Myrna Loy's like, well, I'm just famished after being locked in this elevator for 5 hours. What do you say we go out to dinner? And they all slipped back into their fake lives.
Yep.
That's
The
right.
doctor goes off with his wife. His girlfriend just disappears from the movie. I don't even remember her leaving.
Right.
The kid and his mom, I think they go off and fuck or something.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Stepmom. Then.
Who else was there? Stepmom. Monkey boy.
Come on,
He's
make
like,
it-
I'm just
make
gonna
it acceptable, George. Stepmom.
Stepmom. Well, that's like desirable.
Monkey
The monkey man, he's like, get your damn paws off me, you damn dirty ape. And he tells he's gonna call his boss, who he's gonna quit. He's like, I have to smooth this over. And poor Myrna Loy is all alone. And then what'd she do? After coming clean, after absolving herself from this weight, she tells the cops all about how you remind me of my my son-in-law.
That I murdered.
You want to go get a sandwich? And she goes off to have dinner alone with the cops because she's still lying about her family.
Because serial killers love to hang out with the cops, George.
Because she's so lonely.
It's true.
She's going to kill another family. I tell you.
She's so lonely. I'm gonna wind up being Myrna Loy one day. Is what's gonna happen to me at this rate. At this rate,
I'm a real
right
fucking
now I
Myrna
like it.
Loy.
Right now I love being single. And we've had this talk before, mostly because I have my own bathroom. That's a big thing for me. But no, one day I will wind up being Myrna Loy and talking about my family.
Well, let's talk about bathrooms. Like my girlfriend and I, we have 2 bathrooms. There's no way I'd be able to I would not be able to live with another person with only 1 bathroom.
No, thank you. That's my.
Yeah, it's monstrous.
I do it.
Tim, I've been to Tim's apartment. There's only 1 bathroom.
Oh my god!
Every time he goes to the bathroom, he has to wrestle his wife into submission, lock her in the bedroom, play loud music, stuck towels under the door, all this stuff just to hide his secret shames.
Brush my teeth.
Right, just to brush his teeth.
Incense
No one
burning,
must ever see my
burning
flossing.
everywhere. Oh, I know what to get Tim for his birthday. I'm going to get him that potpourri, that spray that you put in.
We're ready to talk about the revenge.
Yeah, this is
Sure.
the first time we're doing this,
And
so
I'll-
I need you to set up how we're
I'll
doing
put
it.
the song in. Yeah, I'm going to say
Can you sing the song so I hear what it sounds like?
I sent it to you in the
Revenge,
email.
Oh, that one.
revenge, revenge.
Wait. How about this one? Gonna get you. Gonna get you. Gonna get you. Gonna get you. What do you think? That's good.
That's
right?
good.
Sample that.
Let's play.
Yeah,
let's
gonna
play the
get you.
real one and see.
Gonna get you.
Let the
Gonna
people
get
at
you.
home vote.
Wherever you are, wherever you're hiding, I'll find you. I'll get you. I'll get you.
Revenge, revenge.
Revenge. One of us will die. One of us will die.
I will
One of
not
us
let
will
Cindy
die.
take
One
my
of us will
place.
die.
I will have my revenge.
We're going to call it Revenge Time. We're going to call it Let's Talk About Revenge.
I'll have my revenge.
Hey, let's talk about anyway. Whew. Did I talk about everything? It's only
I think we talked. I think
it's only 15 minutes.
We talked about everything and then some.
Yes.
It was
I don't
only
think
an
there's
hour,
any more to talk
Tim,
about.
It was only an
I know.
hour and 9-minute movie. I mean,
I know.
I would say this is the most anyone has talked about this movie since they actually made the movie and they were the
Right.
producer and director talking about the
I
movie.
mean, even when it was the ABC movie of the week in May 1974, they didn't even talk about it this much in May 1974.
Okay, let's go. Wild card question. Who from this?
All right, let's hear it.
Who, if in the sequel of this movie, would end up being a Grammy? Was it at the Grammys or win a Grammy? Win a Grammy?
Win a Grammy at the
Grammy.
Grammys. Win a Grammy. Win a Grammy.
So go ahead, John. You watched the Grammys, I'll bet. They were just on.
I did watch the Grammys.
sounds-
I don't know
that's
why.
accusatory.
I don't really watch award shows anymore. I used to watch them religiously. No, I did watch them this year. Very upset. ABBA, 4 Grammy nominations, did not win one.
Whoa, did they get nominated?
It's outrageous.
They got nominated. They lost Best Pop Vocal Group to Sam Smith and the what is her name? The transgender woman. I can't think of her name now. They lost Best Pop Vocal Album to Harry Styles. They lost Record of the Year to Lizzo, About Damn Time. And they lost Album of the Year, again, to Harry Styles. Pox on your house,
Fucking Harry Styles.
Pox on your house. Pox on your house, Harry Styles, I say.
What was the controversy with Madonna? I didn't read it.
Oh, her face changed.
Her face changed. Well, she's getting older.
She's had terrible amounts of plastic surgery.
Filler and Botox and
rumors.
Looks like maybe a nose job, and they think that something's going on here. Either that, or she's gotten some sort of organ transplant and her body is rejecting it. That could be the other option, but no, she just does not look right.
So Grammy, who would win a Grammy?
I got one if nobody else does.
Go ahead, George. Go ahead, George.
All right, it's fucking Eddie. It was his dance mix to Please Hurry.
Please Hurry.
You stole my joke.
It was in your face, Tim. Yeah, you telegraphed that like Tim's mentioned this line. I bet you it's gonna be Please Hurry. Please hurry. And the percussion was played by firing guns into an empty elevator shaft. Yep. He didn't win for best male vocal or best pop duo or anything like that. He won for sweatiest performance.
That was a
special write-in thing.
That was a category from 1974 to 1976. I can verify that.
Yeah. He beat Gary Glitter.
Then they discontinued. I think they did disco after that. Yeah. No, I can attest that was a category for about 3 ceremonies. Yes, that is true.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Yeah, it is true.
True.
What was
I put in a Spotify based on that song,
and we're talking about. And we're talking about winning sweatiest performance. He was up against Fat Elvis at that point. So for him to win in that category is pretty impressive. I mean, Fat Elvis, that is really
that guy literally sweat peanut butter.
You got peanut butter in my chocolate. Oh wait, no, I'm sweating. I'm sweating peanut butter. Never mind, it wasn't you. My bad.
All right, so that's mine.
Well, did he have any other songs? Don't you remember his other hit song, "The Lady from Philadelphia"?
It was called "Learnamoy."
No,
Learnamoy.
No,
what was the name of the song? "The Lady from Philadelphia."
Learnamoy, my joy, my joy. It was a country hit, moderate country hit. Learnamoy, my joy, my joy. Learnamoy.
He wasn't sweaty enough for that one.
Joy, my joy. Learnamoy. He performed it on Hee Haw once. I remember. He didn't want to get pigeonholed in that sweaty music category, so he tried some country for a while.
He got canceled for that other song on the album called "Pushing Boys Through Holes."
Pushing boys through holes. Much like that guy in college. Much like that guy with the girlfriend in college, you got drunk. But anyway,
I think I know that song. Tim, can you sing a few lines?
Push him, boys. Push him, boys.
What? Wow, wow, wow. Bomb, chicka,
push him, boys. Push him, boys. Yeah, push him, boys through holes. There's a hole. There's a boy. Push that boy through the hole.
Bam, bam, bam.
Wow, we're good.
We're great. I smell a Grammy.
Yeah.
So, my Grammy award winner is the woman who waited in the car from the Blob. I forget her name. Her name is Irene.
Irene.
In the sequel, she stayed in that garage all night practicing her comedy routine, and she won a Grammy for Best Comedy Album. She had a stand-up routine, and some of her favorite jokes were she'd come out on stage and she'd say, "Why did the squirrel forget which tree he buried his nuts under?" And the audience is all like, "Why?
Why? Yeah, why?"
And she says, "Because he had dementia." No, it was a hit.
Because dementia was not the taboo subject it is today.
I'm just picturing her looking eagerly at the audience as crickets.
No,
a tumbleweed goes by.
Best comedy album, 1974.
Did she beat the guy from Beware the Blob, the aggro hairdresser? Because comedy apparently sucked in the 70s.
Well, she had another joke. Why did the carp not pay his electric bill?
Because he's a fish?
Nope, because his checkbook was all soggy. Oh well, hey, it was 1974.
I'm glad.
Not true though. I remember when we were doing that other movie. I told you those guppies used my dad's checkbook to buy sea monkeys. It can happen.
It can happen.
It can happen.
I'm glad she got stuck at the bottom of a stairwell. She deserves that.
Well, she won a Grammy. So you, John,
all right.
what's your?
My Grammy winner is Mrs. Peters, Bobby's mother.
Okay.
And she won her Grammy. It was probably right after Irene won hers. It was for best spoken word. It was for best spoken word album for her audiobook on how to keep your boy at home. It's an advice book to other mothers when your son is getting ready to leave the nest and you want to keep him
in a hole.
You do things like go to his financial advisor and cut off his trust fund and rig an elevator so it's going to fall and he could plummet to his death and he will realize how much he needs his mother.
Oh my
Stealth
God.
villain. She was behind it the whole time.
She was the stealth villain. Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. New York Times bestselling author George O'Connor. Exactly.
This movie just got 20% better, which still doesn't make it a good movie.
Well, again,
So
if you
that's
saw
rough,
the start where Lerna murdered her family.
Learn them away. Learn them away.
Having trouble with this one, Tim.
Did I say it wrong again?
You did, but no, I love it. Let's run. Let's roll. Let's just
call her Murder Loy.
Learn them away. Let's just run with it. It's like when I have too many. It's when I have too many drinks and I call her Sarah Suckabee Handers.
Jeez.
Why are you drinking with Sarah Huckabee Sanders?
No, just in general. Like when I'm talking about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I get one night I got too many drinks in me. I was calling her Sarah Suckabee Handers.
Oh, jeez.
That makes sense, though. It works.
Are you doing that?
It works for me. It works for me. And you just run with it, Tim.
All right. So we'll get to the meat of the show. This is our first time.
You haven't yet.
Yeah, everybody, get ready. This is whatever the hell the subtitle is referring to.
This is a revenge sequel.
Tim, would you like to read your novella first, or
what do you think would
go
first?
Tim, you go first, so I know what to emulate.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the ones who's setting this up.
Everybody, Tim just took out what appears to be a copy of War and Peace.
We had a big meeting. John comes to meetings with those glasses with the eyes painted on them, you know.
I do.
We think he's awake.
It's 2 ping pong balls cut in half with dots drawn on the end. He's put some on.
I got a high school diploma and an associate's degree with those glasses. So don't knock those glasses.
So
right, Tim,
we're gonna do
what is the revenge?
I'm gonna do the title first. It's called Elevator: The Revenge, or as it's known in Florida, The Staircase.
Stupid. Oh, this is the whole reason you did this movie.
What?
So you could do your fucking elevators don't exist in Florida joke.
Yes, it was 1974. There were no elevators in Florida.
For those the best of times, it was the worst of times. Okay, here we go. Get ready.
No, my revenge sequel.
Gird your loins, George.
They're girded.
I don't know how to gird, nor do I know where my loins are, but here we go.
Let me go. Eddie and Irene, at the end of this movie, they're stuck in the basement.
Uh-huh.
So, to escape the police, they hid down in the basement. And after 2 days, Eddie's going nuts because he's claustrophobic. He hates the basement.
Uh-huh.
Tells Irene to go out and get some food and to please hurry.
Okay.
Irene goes out to get some food, but she gets caught up in the pet rock fad that's sweeping the nation at this time. I don't know if you know, that was a popular present by Pet Rock.
We discussed it once or twice. Yes, I know.
I feel like it comes up every week.
She ran off to be a part of that world. So Eddie was just stuck in the basement still. And after 3 days...
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Sam, but like what world? There's like a Pet Rock world? Wait.
No. Yeah, the Pet Rock...
The Pet Rock?
The Pet Rock fad world. No. Okay.
Are there like pet
Eddie's
rock
left
parks?
behind.
What are you talking about? Anyway.
We'll get through.
Okay, go ahead. I'll stop interrupting you. That was rude.
It's okay. Eddie is lost in this basement. He's lost his mind because he's claustrophobic. At the end of the holiday weekend, though, they come and remove the busted elevator. They take it away as junk. And Eddie hides in this elevator so he can escape. And he goes to the junkyard with this elevator. And he uses all the unused car parts from other cars to make his elevator into a machine known as the Kill-Elevator.
Ooh, that's a good title.
And he went on the road to get revenge on all the other elevators who would dare to lock him up and trigger his claustrophobia. And most importantly, get revenge on the maker of Pet Rocks because he saw a billboard that featured Irene posing as the Pet Rock girl. So he knew she was caught up in the Pet Rock cult.
That happened in like 24 hours, too. That's pretty impressive.
No.
She waited 2 days, went out,
depressing.
really got on a billboard.
She was going to be, Irene, she was going to be Miss Bicentennial for the bicentennial year, which was coming up, 1976. But she got stuck in an elevator with her agent, and she farted up a storm, and he fired her. She wasn't around when Eddie and his vengeful Kill-Elevator came around to get his revenge. So that led to the Elevator Part 3. That's my sequel.
Oh, wow.
That's great. Although my conspiracy theory is that, like the moon landing, the bicentennial never happened. It was just staged on a movie set.
Yeah, I believe that.
We were mass hypnotized. We were mass hypnotized.
All right, who goes next, John or me?
It doesn't matter.
I got mine then.
Okay, go ahead.
My revenge theme sequel, because of course everybody knows that this movie was a huge success. Mm-hmm. Myrna Loy fans came out of the woodwork, the Myrna Loyites as they're called.
Right, or Lernamoy. You
Lernamoyites.
You pick.
And this thing got crazy. It was immediately greenlighted. We have to do a sequel for this. And there was actually some characters who were wronged in this movie, and so a revenge film was the way to go. The movie was called, the sequel was called Elevator 2, The Escalation. Now, in the beginning of this movie, if you recall, I drew attention to it for the subtle listener to notice. There was an actual murder. Pretty much nobody dies in this movie. It's pretty low stakes. But the two burglars do go into an office on the top and shoot a Mr. Rambo and steal his money. It's Mr. Rambo who needs to be avenged. Mm-hmm. He's a forgotten victim in all this. His son, John, was just the man to do that. But John, as it happens, while this is happening, the United States was involved in a little conflict in southern Asia called Vietnam. Mr. John Rambo, he drew first blood in that conflict. Killed a lot of people, I think. He went nuts. Maybe he went to somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, got harassed by a sheriff, went crazy, killed everybody. He was definitely a bad guy at first. But then he became an American hero.
Right.
And he would ride up and down the escalators because they replaced this elevator with escalators. And he would just shoot all the commies. And, that's the end of the movie.
Was this a mall escalator? Is that where the commies are?
It was, yeah. And you know what was really funny, Tim? I think you'll appreciate this. Yeah. He was carrying all these fucking missile launchers and M60s and M16s and all kinds of numbers. Uh-huh. And what do you think he saw?
He saw pretty ladies when their bikinis
tripped and fell. There was this pretty lady in bikini. He trips. He falls, but because he's carrying explosives, he is blown to hell. That's the end. Yeah. And that is why there was never any sequels to Lost Blood and or The Elevator.
Escalator.
Except for that dirty version.
It is amazing when the sequel exceeds the original. Yeah.
Well, this one was, let's be honest, folks, this was kind of low budget. But the people, all the Myrna Loy fans were like, this is her greatest appearance since The Thin Man.
Yeah.
And all the Roddy McDowell people were just waiting for him to become a chimpanzee the whole time. He never did. So when the sequel came, there were people camping out on the streets or wherever the hell city this was set in. It was amazing. It was like bigger than Star Wars.
In the background of this sequel, I think you see Roddy McDowell as an ape.
Yeah, but weirdly, he's a chimpanzee. Yeah. I mean, he's not a chimpanzee. He's an orangutan.
Oh.
He's being a real fucking Dr. Zaius.
Ooh, range.
No, that guy. You know, if you have to have someone play a monkey, you could do worse than Mr. Roddy McDowell.
Right.
I want to see it be a bonobo.
A bit.
Because, bonobos, they solve all their all their problems with sexual, stimulation.
You couldn't.
Bonobo meets another bonobo and they have a fight. This is true.
Oh, no.
Like a chimpanzee rips off your nuts and makes you eat them.
Uh-huh.
A bonobo reaches over and gives you a little tug. He's like, hey, I like that, huh? We're friends now, right?
I saw that Instagram story. That's right.
Wait. Of Roddy McDowell giving a tug? Tim, that was an Instagram.
2 monkeys.
Tim, were
Please.
you watching The Elevator 1972? Because that was a very different movie.
I may have been. Lots of monkeys in it.
Wow, I got to watch it. All right, that's mine. I think I lost track of it, but I thought
No.
the title was good. Yeah.
I'm happy to build on each other's.
All right, John, what's yours? What's your revenge?
Okay,
Revenge sequel.
my revenge sequel is The Breakfast Bar Has No Danish. Modern. I.e. modern.
Your personal
What? Modern?
Parentheses, close parentheses.
Wait, is this your personal grievance working in? I was at a breakfast bar. There was no
There's
Danish,
no
so I
Danish.
killed
Well,
everybody.
It was
Well,
a
the reason why, no, not my personal grudge, but Mrs. Edith Reynolds, wife of Dr. Reynolds in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
the scorned wife, maybe?
goes on the road she becomes after decorating her husband's office, she becomes a very well-known interior designer herself, and so she's going all around Southern California. Sometimes she has to spend the night in like a Motel 6 or a Holiday Inn Express, and sometimes the breakfast bar does not have Danish. Yes, you are correct. New York Times bestselling author George O'Connor.
Outrageous.
Ooh.
So she goes and she goes up to like Santa Barbara, Montecito, the real hoity-toity areas, and she's just very successful until
I smell an
Wendy
elevator.
Thompson, the scorned other woman, played by national treasure Arlene Galanka, God rest her soul, goes around and she finds, after she gets off the elevator and is left alone, she finds in the beginning of the elevator, the little bottle of acid they use to burn the keyhole.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot that part. That was cool, actually.
She picks that up, and what she does is she is stalking Edith Reynolds. Mm-hmm. And once Mrs. Reynolds is done decorating these homes, she takes the acid in the keyholes, breaks into the homes, takes out all the new furniture and decorations that Mrs. Edith Reynolds has put in, and replaces it with Danish modern furniture, much like the Danish modern furniture we saw in Santa Claus Conquers the Martian.
All right.
It destroys Mrs. Reynolds' reputation as an interior designer, and Wendy Thompson wreaks her revenge.
Ooh.
Wow.
Does she kind of lose her mind and start installing yellow wallpaper on every room?
Well, she's got a lot of couches now. She doesn't quite know what to do with. Like
she keeps them.
You walk into her apartment, and it's like you can't move on the floor because like every square inch is taken up by a couch. So you gotta walk on the couches and jump over. Yes. There's like one couch up against the stove, and you got to kind of stand on the couch. She doesn't know what to do with the stuff after she steals it. Because U-Haul, you got to get that van back in 24 hours. They're going to charge you more than the $19.99. I'm just saying.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does she hire any of the assistants from U-Haul, or does she heft all this furniture herself?
Oh, she is so full with rage and adrenaline. New York Times bestselling author George O'Connor. She is lifting it herself.
Wow. So she's just hulking out.
She's like the precursor to the She-Hulk. She gets angry, just like, rah! And she's just like throwing. I mean, it's literally just throwing couches and settees into the back of that van. And
I have a question. Does she at any point
you
say?
are full of questions here. You're full of questions.
I'm inquisitive.
Okay.
At any point does she say, "I'm Sofa King mad"?
She mutters it. She mutters it under her breath as she's telling jokes to herself. Something that she learned from Irene a.k.a.
She loves
the
her
chick
album.
from Beware the Blob.
Wow.
She owns her
Yeah.
comedy album.
She has exactly on
owns it.
8-track.
Tim,
On 8-track.
Tim.
On 8-track, and as she's driving around in that U-Haul van, she's got the Irene Turner comedy album, which has just won the Grammy,
Yes.
in the 8-track player. And under her breath, she's going, "I am so fucking angry." And then,
No, she's not so fucking. She's sofa king angry. She
Fucking.
throws couches.
oh, fuck.
Sofa. King. Get it? That's my joke. Tim, can you
Yes.
give us another joke from the comedy album to set the scene?
She does a long kind of bit where she comes out on stage and she goes, I'm kind of nervous up here, a woman comedian. I won't lie to you that my pants are wet. And they're not wet from urine. And then people are nervous.
Tim, that's pretty
And then
blue.
she goes, don't worry,
Yeah.
they're not wet. They're not wet from blood. And everybody's like, giggle, little giggles. And she's like, they're not wet from alcohol. And not wet from, and then she gets kind of blue. I don't want to do it here.
No.
You already got blue.
She's more blue. It goes blue.
And you say she won the Grammy for Best Comedy Album in 1974 for this?
Yeah.
Real dearth of talent that year, apparently.
I guess not. I guess Richard Pryor didn't put out an album that year.
It was her
She's
time,
It
clearly.
was her time. It was her time.
She's like, how about that show Maude?
Oh, no. All right, so Tim, now that we've all put out forth our things, what do we fight over them? Do we vote on them?
No.
Do we ask people?
Oh, yeah.
No, you know what I was thinking we could do? If anybody, and somebody please send us an email. Please send us an email. If perhaps you have an idea of a Revenge sequel, or perhaps you have the idea of who may have won a Grammy Award, send them on in. And what is that email address, Tim?
Well, it's SETI BIMCO with an E at the end at gmail.com. And we're on Instagram, SETI_BIMCO. But also,
And the E stands for extra.
Yes.
yeah, you can send in your ideas, and I think I also know what George was going to say. Vote which one you think was best, right?
In fact, I'm gonna one up it.
What?
Tim Hamilton will personally send you $1 if you write in, because I think we chased away all potential listeners by this point. I don't think Tim's gonna have to send $1 to anybody.
I
You
think
can't
you're
cut that part out. Tim. That's
you can't
fine.
I think you're right, New York Times bestselling author George O'Connor. I think you're right.
Offer not good on the continental United States.
Oh, you're gonna have to send $1 to Australia now. You're gonna be sad.
But yeah, send in. There's no hurt feelings. If you vote for mine, I'll read your name on the air.
No,
If
my-
you vote for mine, I'll sing it down the air.
if you don't vote for mine, my feelings will be very hurt.
If you vote for
I'm the adult child of an alcoholic, damn it. How much more do I have to suffer?
if you vote for John's, I'll sing the rest of the words to "Boy in a Hole." That
Boy in a
award-winning
Hole.
song.
Boy in a hole. Uh-oh. It's serious.
So you can
I've got
write
a
us.
girlfriend.
That's a good song too.
John, you dropped this dude's name before. Do you realize that?
No, I
No,
don't
this is
think
a
so.
different dude. This is a different dude.
Okay. All right. Because you actually did this guy's name. Like, not only are you doing this very unflattering portrayal of, like, I've got a girlfand. You said the
No,
dude's
this was
name.
somebody.
What, are you
This
gonna
was
swim
somebody
over
else.
too?
This was somebody else. A couple somebody else's. It was an ongoing theme
This
in
was a
my
thing.
20s. It was an ongoing theme in my formative years.
You were like a straight chaser.
Yeah.
You know what? It really didn't take that much coaxing, though.
Yeah, maybe they weren't as straight as they proclaimed.
Yep.
Huh?
Ding, ding,
After
ding,
you-
ding,
after
ding.
you-
No more
Wait.
calls. We have a winner.
After you kissed them and then stuffed them into a hole to get rid of them, would you say, I think you did protest too much? And then, like, look at the camera and wink?
No, all I would say is, like, they'd be like, I've got a girlfriend. I'm not gay. It's like, look, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're in my bed. I don't give a fuck right now. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Then you did that horrible laugh.
Oh, hey, do the voice again.
Jeez, that's worse.
That's unforgivable. Yeah, it's getting worse.
Anyway.
It got worse. It got
Wait.
worse.
Oh, jeez.
How I made it 6 weeks with that guy, I have no clue.
6 weeks.
6 weeks, which was an eternity for me back then.
Yeah, that's a long. I mean, because you figure early in the days you're seeing them like every day, and that guy's doing that.
Yeah. When like as I said, maybe it was 8 weeks, maybe it was 2 months. I can't remember. It was
maybe he's still here. Check it.
It was a very compact. Let me Google him. I'll give his address and phone number on the air. If you know,
let's try to wrap up the show. Write us a letter.
All right, Tim, talk us out.
Vote on the best song. Theory. And next week,
best revenge sequel.
Best revenge sequel. Next week, from now on, each week, John is going to appear as a different vice president, and he's not going to tell us who it is. We're just going to guess.
Oh, I saw it. Oh, thank goodness! I almost said John C. Calhoun. Whew, thank goodness I didn't say that out loud. But I did pick the film for next week.
You did? Oh, that's right.
What is it?
Well, it was queued up on YouTube after. I really cheated this week. It was queued up on YouTube after the elevator, and it was about an hour or so itself. I was like, well, what do I have to lose? It is Dr. Cook's Garden, starring very late in his career, one Mr. Bing Crosby.
Last movie. I think it said
was his last movie.
It said last.
Okay.
I thought Xanadu was his last movie.
No,
that was Gene Kelly.
Oh, I don't know anything.
No, Bing Crosby was dead by the time Xanadu. Although they said they did want Bing Crosby originally, and then he died. And they hired Gene Kelly.
They wanted Danny Kaye originally, but he turned it down. Okay.
I don't know if it's a joke or not.
I don't know either.
All right, let's think with Tim.
What?
He's always trying to bring
in
Danny Kaye in all situations.
I love it. His movies are great. I don't think George has watched any Danny Kaye.
Was he in Darby O'Gill and the Little People?
Nope.
That was Sean Connery. I confused the two of them.
He was in Wonder Man. That's the name of one of his movies.
Was that the one about the actor superhero whose comics you drew in the 90s?
No.
Danny Kaye, was he also The Secret Life of Walter Mitty?
Yes.
That's it. I did see that.
Okay. He was in White Christmas.
We'll
talk about that next week. I can't wait to talk about White Christmas,
Danny
people.
Kaye.
You like White Christmas? Be here next week. Because
I don't like you saying White Christmas so much. It's making me feel
it's
nervous.
a very white movie, but...
Should I try to see if I can score some Coke? I mean, White Christmas?
White Christmas. What? Code word next week. Code word White Christmas.
Snow. Is that what you're telling me?
Yep, that song.
Okay.
Snow.
Stick a boy in a hole.
George Clooney's aunt is in that movie. Dropping knowledge.
Aunt Clooney?
George Clooney's aunt. She's in White Christmas.
All right.
Well, don't give away all the fun.
All right. We should go.
All right.
It's been too long.
Yes,
all right, I'm going to hang up before we upload.
Say goodbye.
All right, bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This has been a Pity Party Line production.
Party line. It's a party line.
Oh, I thought you were talking like the
Secret
musical
Garden was
Secret
a kids'
Garden.
show. You don't remember that, John?
Yep.
New York. It was a New York show.
No, it was the Magic Garden.
The Magic Garden.
Yep.
Magic
Sherlock
Garden.
the Squirrel?
Sherlock the Squirrel with Janice and they had the Chuckle Patch, and that was the Magic Garden. Secret Garden.
And they would
was,
pretend they see you. Like, I see Tim.
That's the romper room.
No, that was Romper Room.
I don't know what I'm
Let this show
doing.
end. Let this be
It never will end.
Let this be our last podcast.
I'm just gonna get in an elevator. I'm just gonna get in an elevator, snap the cables, and end it all.
Goodbye.
Hey, mister!